Hello, viewers. Today we have with us Mr. Krishnakant Mane, who is the first visually challenged IT professional in India. And he's a serial entrepreneur. Among the many other things that he has done is the starting of Online Khata, which is India's first automated GST billing software for small and medium scale businesses. Welcome, Mr. Mane.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, pleasure is all ours too. So, tell us a little about yourself first before we go further.
Happened to be the first totally blind IT professional of India, and when I did, there were only three in Asia. So I don't know exact timing of all those three, but then it seems there were no one when I did this. Now, to get to how this happened, I will have to take you back in time a little bit, and a little bit of history would actually explain how this whole thing happened. So I was born with very less eyesight, and I deliberately use the word eyesight, not vision, because vision is what I have. And I think I always keep on saying that, it's more, vision is more important than eyesight. So so
That's
I had
true.
very less, eyesight, like 10% in my left eye. The reason being, I had no retina. So the doctors had said that, as the kid grows, the opacity will increase and the retina will go, and that's exactly what happened when I was 3 years old. So totally, there was total loss of eyesight. I can perceive light, but nothing beyond that. No colors, no
Okay.
shapes, no shadows, nothing. So
Okay.
my parents had a very unique idea. I mean, they would best know why they did so, but it was that I should go to a school for the sighted people, the regular school, not the special school for the blind, because my
Okay.
elder sister was already in school, and they put me in the same school. It was a lot of struggle because obviously no school would have admitted me in a regular school that time. Even now there is a problem. So about that time there is no question, but then they persisted because they wanted to do that experiment, and I would say that apparently I got the admission, and the side effect of what they did was that I grew up absolutely like a regular kid. I used to play in all these grounds and with all the regular kids, even in my locality, and because we were from a middle class family, and the advantage of being there is there's a lot of social things happening right from the morning till the night, all the kids together. So I grew up like a regular child, and at the age of 12, what happened apparently was that they thought they had a friend in US, and so they thought, let us send me there, and see if there are further opportunities. So of course, there must have been quite a lot of financial trouble sending me there, but they apparently somehow managed it. They sent me alone, basically. That was the main thing, that they sent me alone at the age of 12. All that I had is good confidence, because I had grew up in a regular way, and good English communication skills, which is absolutely necessary. So I went there, and when I was visiting some schools in New York, I saw one school where there was a talking typing machine, where wherever you press a key, it will read out what did you press, and when you write the entire word and press the space bar, it will read out the entire word, and so on and so forth. So I was very mesmerized as a 12-year-old kid, that how can this be? So I asked the faculty over there, the lab assistant, how this machine talks. So she told me that there is a program in it. So as a small kid now, I asked, what program? What do you mean program? Like radio or TV program? Is there some characters in this? So she just smiled at me, and then she gave me a few audio cassettes to listen to, and a few books in Braille. Like, there is a lippy which you use, blind
Yeah.
people like this. And
Yeah.
so I got that, and then I came back, because I did not like the lifestyle over there. A kid who's used to all day screaming and yelling and playing with the kids and everything, getting perspiring the entire day, coming home late. And this was a totally different life, and I did not kind of like it. So I did come back apparently, because it was not very comfortable, to say the least, over there. Not because US is not comfortable. In fact, it's a very beautiful place, but the place where I was staying, they couldn't probably adjust and all. So uh, came back, and I brought those books and cassettes with me. By the time I crossed 10th grade, I had realized that computer is like there is a brain inside it. This is how as a kid I was thinking. There's a brain inside it, and just like we have senses, it has its own senses. Like there's a keyboard, there's a monitor, there is all that. But the brain is so precise that the level of your accuracy, the level of your creativity, and the level of your efficiency is raised to infinite levels. So if you can put your concept, your wisdom, your the sequence of actions into the processor, into the brain, you can make it do much powerful things. This is what I realized at the age of, like, I think 15, 16 or so. And I was in the merit list. I was a topper in the school. And
Which school was that? Which school was
that
that?
was George High School. It's in Mumbai. Now it is called
Okay.
VM Sule English Medium School. That time it was
Okay.
called King George English Medium School.
Okay. You
So
were
what?
living in Mumbai at that time.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I am born and brought up in Mumbai, right?
Okay. Okay.
So yeah. So what apparently happened was, there was a press conference because my school felt proud that I was a topper in the merit list and all. So there was a press conference and they asked me apparently the very very obvious question which any journalist would ask. You know, uh, by the way, I've also done myself some bit of journalism. So
Okay.
yeah, I used to write for Channel Y, Indian Express. Yeah, as a
Okay.
freelancer when I was in college. So, anyways, so they asked me the very typical question. They would ask that kid that, "What are you going to do after this?" You know. So I promptly replied without a single second that I want to be a software engineer. At that time,
Okay.
there was pin drop silence because a blind boy of 15 years, and what is he talking? He's saying he wants to be a software engineer. What? Some people were like, "What rubbish?" I mean, just a kid, and what does he know? How on earth he would know? Some people were appreciative of the fact that I had that guts to, just come and say, "Hey, look, I want to become a software engineer," and they thought that this is really a gutsy thing, but apparently, practically speaking, it's not good. So good, clap, clap, clap. You did say the nice thing, but of course, they knew that I couldn't do it, and there was
Okay.
a
Which year was that? Which year was
uh,
that?
I think it was 96.
Okay. Okay.
So, so what
So
happened
till then,
apparently?
one second. Till then, in school, how were you appearing for your exams?
That's a known fact. For all blind students, they give a writer. So they will
Okay.
read out a question. I have to say the answer and they have to exactly write it. At times, they would also ask the spelling for a certain thing if they are not sure of the spelling because their mistakes, that's a gamble which every visually disabled person has to face because if the writer writes the wrong spelling, assuming it is right, then we are bound to lose the mark. So I am
So
also
Braille
taking.
is not used.
No, the reason being, if see, if I write in Braille, how will an examiner read it, right? Because I'm studying in a regular school. The board is for the regular people. The entire examiner staff is a cited this thing. They don't have blind examiners for that matter. So there will be a problem. So the only
Yeah.
way out now, of course, they are allowing laptops and everything with the talking software. We'll come
Okay.
to the talking software later on. So I used
Okay.
to use a writer to give the exams. Yeah. So yeah, so and then there was a group which thought that this might be possible, but they wouldn't know how it would be possible. So apparently, I took up arts because no one would give me admission in computer science. That time there were no technologies, so to speak, and if at all they were there, they were not in India. So that was
Okay.
a very distant dream. But one thing I would say here that if someone thinks that they can do something and they know very well what they are talking about, that is, of course, sometimes you don't know and you're in the wrong track. But if you have that sufficient knowledge
Conviction.
back sufficient knowledge to back your thinking and the idea of how things can be done, please persist with it. So I did.
Okay.
Now sometimes you have to take alternative routes, you have to hack the problem, you see. So what I did, I said fine, I have to take up arts, never mind. I took up two very important subjects which go a long way in becoming a software engineer. One was logic, of course. I took up the subject, and then there was psychology, which I took up because again you have to understand human requirements because you are making a software for humans, right? For their own task or domain. So you have to understand how they speak, their mindset.
Okay. So at this time, you never regretted your decision to come back because US obviously would offer more opportunities and more avenues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I certainly don't regret coming
Okay.
back. Now India is at least called an IT giant,
Not
and
now, at that time. at that time?
That time, one thing was very sure. Of course, now I'm saying it because probably there was some facts which might have come in my mind. As a kid, I was not liking over there for sure. Secondly, I think the family with whom I was staying, they were not very attuned to handling a visually disabled kid.
Okay.
I think in the hindsight, my parents should have probably investigated, how whether they would be able to handle it. So that's one thing. Second thing is the kind of environment where I was born and brought up. It was a sudden jolt for me to be there, and people are not that that lifestyle is totally different. It's not about how much money you have; it's about the way you behave. Okay, so they were not behaving bad in any way. In fact, they were more kind and very good. But that entire imagine a 12 years, 13 years old child, suddenly no one,
Maybe,
no friends, nothing. So I
yeah,
did
maybe
not.
you found it impersonal.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes. And also the fact that there was some pull towards a certain kind of enjoyment, a certain kind of, friend circle, a certain kind of set of teachers, and the school. I was pretty much attached, and I was one of the pampered, not so pampered, but yeah, I was kind of favorite amongst all the teachers because I used to ask the right questions. And
Okay.
I would apparently force a lot of teachers to actually perform the physics experiments in the classrooms, which are generally not performed, but they would
Okay.
apparently do it. I mean, no one is
Okay.
going to do how, when there is a class session on how rain happens, how the clouds
Hmm.
happen, the rain comes. So they would give the kids an example, like, let's imagine that you're boiling water and the steam comes out and you put a thali on top of the vessel. And then, if you take it off, the water droplets start falling. I told my teacher, let's do it in the classroom. I just want to do
Okay.
it. So initially there was resistance. Then they arranged for a gas burner and everything in the lab, in the physics lab, and
Okay.
apparently got ice cubes and putting on the thali. And because of me, all the other kids got a benefit that they got to
Yeah.
enjoy that experiment first time
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was quite of a favorite in the school. Even now, a lot of teachers do remember me. So I
Okay.
did not like the overall change in the lifestyle over there. Not that
Okay.
it was bad, but it is just that I this. And when I
Hmm.
look back now, I think I certainly don't regret because I got so many
Okay.
things. I got amazing friends. By the way, this is something which is a message I would like to give to all young. If there are any young, uh, I wouldn't say kids, young teenagers looking at this
Uh-huh.
interview, you know there's one point in your life, especially after 15, 16, 17 years old, you don't listen to your parents. You don't want to really adhere to whatever your professors say. The only thing you generally tend to be influenced is with your peer circle. It's a psychology, it's
Yeah.
not natural. सो
Yeah.
आई ऑलवेज कीप टेलिंग पीपल इन हिंदी में हमेशा बोलता हूँ संगत अच्छी होना बहुत जरूरी है आई
True.
would strongly recommend make your own wise decisions of whom you want to be. Let me tell you, I was not a typical studious bacha who will sit in one place and always study. Every other week my complaints used to go to my house. Okay,
Okay.
very very spoiled kid kind of.
Okay.
But yes, but I told that experiment thing also. So my group consisted of some kids whose parents were scientists, some kids whose parents were professors, doctors. One of the very renowned keyboard artist, the keyboard artist who is very famous in the Maharashtrian Saregama was my benchmate. Okay, I had a lot of people who were from the art circle. So the kind of group I accumulated around me all the time was some kind of course, I had mischievous kids. I mean, none of these guys were very, very shant or peaceful or very, very typical bookworms. No, not at all. Very mischievous group. But eventually, your thought process, your thinking, your philosophy, your life goals, it all gets shaped during this kind of a phase. So संगत अच्छी होना बहुत जरूरी है because that is where you listen and that is where you try to आप उसी तरफ बहते हो, you start flowing in that direction. So having a
Yeah.
good circle is what has actually made me what I am today. I would certainly say that it's not one mentor or parents. Of course, parents very frankly they opposed. They were not in favor of me opting for engineering anyhow. They come from a very
Okay.
modest background and probably they don't understand. They would naturally not understand. So, but of course, I also want to give a message to all the parents who probably may
Mhm.
have a disabled kid and they want to do something about it and they know what they
Mhm.
are doing. I would
Mhm.
quote, a couple of lines from Bob Dylan's songs. It says
Mhm.
that all the mothers and the fathers of the land, please don't
Mhm.
criticize that you don't understand. So,
Okay.
there is a gap, and one has to understand that nowadays, so itna Facebook and all this is there. We'll keep it
Mhm.
aside, but the channels like yours, there is so much
Mhm.
information on YouTube. There is so much
Yeah.
on LinkedIn. So many blogs. So nowadays, now everyone actually knows how to extract the information he or she wants. So
Yeah.
it is not that one doesn't know or one doesn't understand. Nowadays, in fact, people have started to understand even more. So
Mhm.
I had a lot of problems in that case. Like, so
Mhm.
that was the case. So I took up arts,
Mhm.
and psychology and logic were subjects. Again, see, this is
Mhm.
influence of my friend circle, wherein I realized that logic is something. Someone had told me that when you talk about software programs,
Mhm.
you have to have logic because you have to
Mhm.
actually think logically and then put it into the computer's brain, right? So that was in
Mhm.
my mind. Acha bola, logic le lete. I took logic and of course
Mhm.
psychology. But in final year,
Mhm.
I dropped everything and I took up economics, all six subjects,
Okay.
because of course
Okay.
eventually that was one of my close to heart subjects. Economics is something which I really love. And
Mhm.
then after that, the real fun started because by that time,
Mhm.
technology was getting improved. India was slowly
Mhm.
becoming an IT hub, if not an
Mhm.
IT giant. Okay.
Mhm.
So one of my father's friend, he really got impressed because I was not leaving my zid. I was persistent on becoming an engineer, a software engineer.
Okay. Mhm.
His name was Kishore Shah. So finally,
Mhm.
he actually brought me a talking software, a licensed
Mhm.
talking software, and
Okay.
one license of that software would cost 1 lakh rupees, which I
Okay.
think ordinary middle class people won't be able to afford. And
Yeah.
another friend of my father, he actually gifted me a computer. Farooq
Okay.
Saudagar, his name. He actually gifted me a computer.
Mhm.
Why were they all doing this? Is one
Mhm.
very big question which a lot of people may ask. Why were people helping me out? The
Yeah.
reason is, you know, if I were to set aside a bit of my modesty and talk very straight, there
Mhm.
is something called as self actualization when you
Mhm.
in psychological terms, when you know that who you are, and what you are.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think good intelligence, good thinking power, which is a matter of fact. It's not about boasting
Mhm.
about oneself. It's a reality. I have my own weaknesses also, but the strong point is
Mhm.
this: that I
Mhm.
know and I understood very well that I do have a good brain, and I was
Mhm.
working hard. There is no two ways about it. You have to work hard. You have to
Mhm.
make some
Mhm.
sacrifices. Not that I
Yeah.
did not enjoy the college life. I have one
Mhm.
personality contest. I am a trained ghazal singer. So
Okay.
yeah, I do write poetry in Urdu. So not that I have not
Okay.
done that, but some sacrifices have to be made. And
Mhm.
these people were seeing me, my
Mhm.
friends, well, my father's friends, they were
Mhm.
seeing me constantly. They used to meet me, and
Mhm.
they were business people. They are businessmen.
Mhm. Mhm.
People have a knack of really understanding कौन क्या कर सकता है. So they realized this guy, if we put some help into it, he's going to become something big. So
Okay.
if had they not helped me, I would have anyways found out my way around because मुझे करना ही
Mhm.
था. But anyways, they did help
Okay.
me, and that
Mhm.
was really great. So I got my
Mhm.
first computer, my first talking software, and then
Mhm.
I approached Mumbai University that I want to now take up. Now, why can't you give me an admission in software engineering? Because the problem is solved. What I
Okay. Which
needed
year was that? Which year was that?
2003, 2002.
Okay. And you were class 12, you had cleared by that time and you were waiting to get admission in.
So no. So 6 years before that, got into college. No, so 3 years of graduation, 2 years of college, 5 years.
Ach- Okay. Okay. It's after, but you didn't have science in your class 11 and 12.
No. I told you, no, I had to take up
Uh-huh.
arts. I was kind
Hmm.
of, you can say, in a way, I was forced to take arts because that time,
Uh,
no engineering. So I did my
uh.
BA and then I did my engineering. I had to
Okay,
wait for that much long time. You see.
okay, that would be an interesting story how they gave admission to you because normally it's like
Yes, I will
class
tell you.
12th you
Yes.
have to have. Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
So after
Go ahead.
graduation, yes. So
Yeah.
after graduation, I went to the university. I said, look, The problem is not that I cannot handle computer. The problem is I should be able to get the input from the computer as to what is happening. And now there is a speech synthesizer and there is a software which talks. Okay. The problem was then how you would understand things. So they sent me to an institute called Data Pro, where they could actually arrange a computer, because their labs had no speakers and sound cards. University in Mumbai that time had no
Okay.
sound card and speaker. They were old computers. No? So that time sound card was a luxury, by the way. So they sent me to that institute, wherein they said it was inaugurated by Rajiv Gandhi, and it was kind of a semi-government stuff that time. So that is the place where you will be able to do your practicals. See if they are ready to take you. If then we will give you admission. For the practicals, you will
Okay.
have to go there. I said fine. So I went. They registered. Obviously, they said no, that's not possible. I said okay. I did not even give them the software first. I said let's do something else. I said, can you give me a dictation? You want to see how I can handle a computer? He said, yes, let's see. You know, उनको तो मुझे मतलब दिखाना ही था that I will not be able to do. So they took the challenge. Unfortunately for them and fortunately for me. And I started to type. They were dictating. There was a guy standing behind me, and there was another person sitting next to me, and they were dictating me. And I had a speed of 90 or so in typing. I had learned typing, by the way, in my school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As it is, typist never looks at the keyboard. No? So I have a by default advantage of not looking anywhere. so I had a good speed. And what I did, when the last paragraph came, I deliberately made a mistake. So he
Acha.
immediately stopped me and said, see, you made a mistake. I said, exactly,
Huh.
I did it deliberately, which
Huh.
means there is always going to be someone who's reading my screen and going to tell me that you have done a mistake, because two people sit on one computer, two students, one computer, right? So
Okay.
if I'm doing a mistake, she or he might tell me, no? So your problem is sorted. So they were like, great. Yeah. So I said, see, the issue is not typing, the issue is not operating the computer, the issue is feedback. Then I opened the real Pandora's box and I handed him a CD. I said, here, even this problem is sorted because I did not tell you in the beginning. I never wanted you to give me an admission only because the software is there. I wanted you to do it by heart. So I said, now here is the software. You install it, please. Here you installed it. Now the entire system was talking. You go to the menus, you read the buttons, you read the checkboxes, notifications, everything. Everything is talking. Then they were satisfied. Like, okay. Then kind of I was their favorite student in
Okay.
1 hour itself. So they gave me
Okay.
admission. They gave a scholarship of 50-60% discount for
Okay.
the lab usage was there. No? University had told me, you'll have to pay for that. We cannot pay for that. Of course.
Okay.
So then, thus my engineering journey started. Again, there was a problem. The programming is divided into two sections. There is one thing which is called the backend. So now, you and me are talking over the network. You can see the screen. The screen is in front of me also. This is called the front end, the user. That is called the UI, user interface, or UX is the user experience, what you get.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is just a screen. In the background of the server, there is some code written, there is some program written, which is actually handling the whole thing. So you can say that your screen is like your waiter, and your backend or your server is like the kitchen in the hotel. Okay? Giving a layman's analogy. वहाँ क्या हो रहा है किसी को नहीं मालूम. So I could do the hotel part because that doesn't require any graphical elements. There is no coloring or stuff. To write the actual code in the background, in the backend, the real business logic as they call it. But how would you design a front end? How would you design the screen, distance between buttons, and all that stuff? I gave them a simple example. I said, look, let's do one thing. We will cut a cardboard and we will put different objects on that, and you can show me the spatial locations. Like the toolbar, you could put a big pencil on top, and then we can arrange. You can show me the UI physically, and then let me see how I can design it on the screen, because talking software was there. I knew that I can calculate in terms of inches and stuff like that. You put your number like this. Like this. Actually, this part is approximately 1 inch.
Okay.
That knowledge has to be there. It is slightly more than 1 inch, but it is still 1 inch or thereabouts. Generally, that is a standard size. So I used to measure it that way. So if you want to put the distance between the widgets, the buttons, and the edit fields and all that. So the UI problem was also solved. I started to code the UI also. At times, there are incidents wherein my UI has been better than those who are cited.
Okay.
Because the spatial locations of the units on the screen, I was very, very precise and meticulous about it. My only problem was the weakness which I cannot solve, of course, is putting colors. Right? I do understand color combinations because, as I said, I had very little vision till the age of 3. Some conscious memories are there, but I
Mhm.
cannot actually see colors and put them on the screen. So that part has to be done by someone else. No worries. I mean, सब लोग सब कुछ तो नहीं करते. I mean, everyone doesn't do everything, right? So
Mhm.
that problem also got solved, and
Mhm.
thus slowly this entire journey began. And now here
Mhm.
I want to tell something that when I say,
Mhm.
first IT professional, before me
Mhm.
there were some blind people who used to operate computers with a talking software. They were doing that. They
Okay.
were very few, maybe four or
Okay.
five.
Mhm.
Okay, and they were dabbling into things like databases. In those days there was something called as Fox Pro, DBase.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
very rudimentary databases, which is not
Mhm.
involving a lot of programming and all stuff. So
Okay.
they were doing database stuff and little bit of rudimentary command level commands, programming in form of commands. But
Mhm.
when you say IT professional, it's a very big
Mhm.
spectrum. You have to handle the back
Yeah.
end, you have to understand
Mhm.
the front end, you have to
Yeah.
understand the entire project flow, the system architecture, you have to
Mhm.
manage the entire team, you have to coordinate with different units, you have to write
Yeah.
microservices. So this
Mhm.
entire spectrum is called being an IT professional. It's just
Yeah.
not an engineering part. So that way,
Yeah.
handling everything, I was the first person in Asia who was doing that kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so after like 4 years, I did. But again, before even I completed my engineering, 4 years of
Mhm.
engineering, I already started to write small softwares for local pharmacies and
Okay.
small shops and all. I had already started that. That time there was a technology called Visual Basic (VB),
Mhm.
and I used to
Mhm.
do coding in that as well. And
Mhm.
slowly I realized that the more I did it, the more I
Mhm.
realized two things. Number one, this is
Mhm.
this is the very career I want to be, because solving
Mhm.
problems,
Mhm.
giving some kind of a wisdom to the computer and getting it to do exactly what you want to do is a fun. It's an addictive. It's
Mhm.
like a game. It's very addictive. Like the more you write
Mhm.
code, the more it works. The more you want to write the code, and the more it works. It's like
Mhm.
that. Thus,
Mhm.
just like for Sachin Tendulkar, batting is his passion. So for me,
Mhm.
even
Mhm.
programming is my passion, which I'm not able to pursue now. As a
Mhm.
director and a founder of a company, there are more
Mhm.
important things to do, which
Mhm.
takes me away from programming, which is my real passion. But of
Mhm.
course, even today I guide teams,
Mhm.
my to do the work.
Mhm.
And I have also been a mentor. I have given a lot of engineering seminars in my entire career ever since in 2000, 2004, 5. I started my career,
Mhm.
and slowly, and okay. And the second thing I realized is, okay, my father had a friend who gifted me a software of 1 lakh
Mhm.
rupees.
Mhm.
How many blind people will be able to do that? Why is the
Mhm.
reason that there are no people like me? Even today, I'll tell you,
Mhm.
there are hardly any people like me. It's a sad truth.
Mhm.
This is no
Mhm.
proud feeling for any one of us, neither for me, neither for you, nor for our nation.
Mhm.
I am not here to set records so that no one breaks it. I am here to set examples. And
Mhm.
since not a lot of people have been able to do it, I think the example is still not getting set due to various
Mhm.
factors.
Yeah.
So
So what happened? What happened after you finished your graduation?
and engineering,
Completed
I,
your
I told you I
engineering.
started to write softwares, and the more I
Hmm.
wrote, I started to
Hmm.
get bigger contracts. I
You
got one from
never thought of joining a company or starting a job
uh,
or something? No.
No, in the middle phase, I did do a job because business was not going so well. Initially, I
Hmm.
was an independent consultant. I was working for several organizations, helping them
Hmm.
out set up their entire thing, including the hardware and the software
Hmm.
as well.
Okay.
So,
So getting these clients was tough, or
of course,
they
it was
came
tough.
easily to you?
Of course, it was tough, not because I'm
Hmm.
blind, because
Hmm.
that time there was no such media like we have today. You put a ad on
Hmm.
the LinkedIn and people will come to you. Of course, it
Hmm.
was tough, and the main source was referrals.
Hmm.
So I had to be like 99.99% satisfactory to whoever I make
Hmm.
software. Sometimes
Hmm.
they wouldn't even pay me. They
Hmm.
would pay very late, but I would say Jane do, because I wanted more referrals, right? And the referrals
Hmm.
would come apparently. They would say, "Yaar, ye bacha hai, he has a team." I had, by the
Hmm.
way, gathered my own team of like 4 or 5 people. You
Yeah,
know,
that is what I want to know. Like, how did you like begin that professional journey of yours?
I began like, okay, by the time I did my engineering, there were a couple of friends who had, हम लोग का हमेशा ग्रुप बनता था whenever we had to do a project or something in for the engineering. We used to huddle up together and we used to do together. and we developed kind of a rapport between us. And that was the time when I realized that, okay, so after graduation, let's start doing work. And they were also having that same attitude of jane do yaar kon job karega, let's do our own thing.
Ach-
And
Okay.
as young engineers, we had that high level
Uh,
adrenaline ki, kuch karna hai
mhm,
alag se, we want to do our own
mhm,
business. So we apparently did
mhm.
start our own
Okay.
thing. We did not
Mhm.
register a company initially. Afterwards, we
Okay.
did.
Okay.
It was called
What was
Compact
that?
Software Solutions. It was called Compact Software Solutions,
Okay.
CUMPACT. Because
Okay.
Compact was a laptop company, we couldn't use that name. So Compact
Yeah,
Software
yeah.
Solutions. And we had a
Okay.
logo also. I decided Magnetic Compass as our
Uh-huh.
logo that time. The
Okay. And
reason
how
being,
many people were there with you?
we were just 5 people.
Okay.
The
Okay.
work was also not that huge. So,
Mm-hmm.
but we used to manage. We, in fact, went to the extent of creating a mini ERP for one of the companies. I wrote an
Okay.
entire quality assurance software for Indophil Chemicals company in Mumbai, in Thane, and I did a
Okay.
gravity simulation software for IIT Mumbai.
Okay.
So
Okay.
quite a lot of things together. I used to
Mm-hmm.
always lead the system architecture. I would define the entire system flow and the system architecture. I was the one who would design the database, entire database structure. Even today, my team comes
Mm-hmm.
to me for database structuring, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
which year was that? Which year was that?
2004-5, I started to make my softwares, serious
Okay.
softwares. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and
Then.
then what happened? See, what was happening apparently is, you know, it was not working because people wouldn't stay for long. For a simple
Mm-hmm.
reason that my parents were unduly, more careful. Like, इतना ज़्यादा
Okay.
भी नहीं होना चाहिए. They were over cautious, and they would
Okay.
control a lot of financial activities, and
Mm.
as a result, there was some discomfort with my friends. They couldn't handle
Yeah,
it.
probably they were scared that people will cheat you.
Yes, they were scared, but my simple funda is this, that
Mm.
again it comes down to, I ask people, I'll tell you something. There is this
Mm-hmm.
typical MBA question which people ask. They will put a glass half full of water, and they will ask, what do you think, this is a half full glass or a half empty glass? So there are
Mm-hmm.
two answers, no? The positive people say it is half full, and the
Mm-hmm.
negative people say it is half empty, right? Guess what is
Mm-hmm.
my answer?
Mm. I'm thankful that it has something.
Guess what do you think, what would be my answer, half full or half empty?
No, I say that maybe it's that you are grateful that it is some water is there in it.
No, my answer was
Mm.
none. My answer was, I was ultra positive. I said, भाई ये full है, आधा पानी और
हाँ.
आधा हवा तो है.
अच्छा.
It's not vacuum, right? Still it's air, right? There is oxygen in it.
Yeah.
There is carbon
Mm.
dioxide in it. So the glass
Mm.
is full. It's neither half empty nor half full. It's complete full. There is
Yeah.
water and there is air. What are you talking
Yeah.
about, man? So it's all about how you take it. If people were
Mm-hmm.
supposed to cheat me, I'll tell you
Mm.
what, then my projects wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
had good friends. See, I'll tell you what, in everyone's life, good and bad people come. I had
Yeah.
very bad, patches in my life. Everyone has
Mm.
that. Why to think always in a bad way? And
Mm.
being over cautious and being over careful, this is a problem in Indian culture. I
Mm-hmm.
remember this Miley Cyrus song. There was, I don't know whether you have heard that song, Butterfly Fly Away.
Mm-hmm.
So in that song, what they have shown is Miley is 16 years old and she's telling her
Mm-hmm.
father to sing this song, Butterfly Fly Away. Means
Mm.
it's like now it's 16, right? So you have to go out,
Mm.
you have to be on your own now, earning
Mhm.
stuff, and
Mhm.
so leave it. So that
Mhm.
father also apparently becomes happy. Okay, the girl is becoming independent. In
Mhm.
India, with normal, regular people also, this is a problem. So मेरे बारे
Mhm.
में तो problem ही था. And I
Mhm.
always tell people that when you come from a middle class family, there are
Mhm.
some things which you should deliberately do without your parents knowing it, because you might know that
Mhm.
you're doing the right thing, and apparently I did that. I don't regret it now. That a
Mhm.
lot of things I did parallelly,
Mhm.
because they were like kind of trying to be in control of things, and apparently it did not work. So the business
Mhm.
kind of not it did not sustain. So I
Okay.
joined Homi Baba Center for Science Education in Mumbai. It's in TIFR, as a
Okay.
developer, as a programmer,
Huh.
right?
Okay.
I worked there for some time. So that was
Which
the time when
year?
that was
Which
in
year was that?
2007.
Okay.
Yeah. Now,
Mhm.
that was the time when the second realization materialized. So I had realized one thing, that not a
Mm.
lot of blind people like me are able to do what
Mm.
I'm doing, because this costly software they cannot afford. So I had developed some friendship with some guys in US. Okay, because by that time I was using all the social media and whatever was available, and we
Okay.
decided to write a first free talking software. The software should
Okay.
be free; it should not be costing anything. I came to know through them that an effort is already on. People are doing it. Sun Microsystems is a company who's sponsoring it, and I was one of those early contributors to that free software, which is called
Okay.
Orca. It's called ORCA, Orca. You know, Orca is a
Okay.
big whale kind of thing in the
Okay.
sea, right?
Okay.
Um, so because of that free software thing, one big revolution happened that now visually disabled people don't have to spend lakh rupees extra for starting to use the computer, let alone coding and everything. So during that time when the software got developed and matured, I was one of the contributors as an architect. I used to have a lot of technical discussions with the team, helping them out, understand stuff. And it was a community work basically. I was not the only guy doing it, but I was one of the initial pivotal force behind it. Now, uh, the Tamil Nadu government came to know about this. I
Acha.
used to go to a lot of conferences and stuff like that. And I got a call from Tamil Nadu government. There is an organization called Electronics Corporation of Tamil Nadu, ELCOT, in 2008,
Yeah.
right? They called
Yeah.
me and said, "Hey, we want to do something about this. Government has given us like X amount. I cannot declare that because they are official things, which I cannot, unless you file an RTI, I will not be able to do that. These are
ठीक
official
है, that's
documents
okay.
that we will be disclosing. Yeah. So they gave some amount. They said, we have been told to create IT based education and employment for blind people. Can you do it for us? I said,
Okay.
yes, I can do it for you, and even on a lower budget. You will have to pay my consultancy charges, of course, but then here is the biggest turn. The software will be free. It is free. So when they came to know this, they were like really very happy. Like, okay, then that major problem is solved. Who will buy so many licenses, right? You cannot buy. Let's say you have to train 100 visually disabled kids.
हाँ,
How can you
हाँ,
spend 1 crore rupees just for licenses? Forget about
yeah,
teaching and arranging and logistics and all. So
true.
we did a project called True Vision. Later on, you can go to Google and search for True Vision on YouTube. You will get that 9 minutes video is there, in which I am
Okay.
also there. I led that complete project. We created IT-based training for the graduate blind student and the teachers who were in blind schools for the blind,
Okay.
to train them
Okay.
how to use this talking software so that they can start using Excel, so that they can start using Word. I mean, of course, we were using the open source alternatives, but I'm telling you this, okay? To use all the things, spreadsheets, present, they should be able to do presentations like the way everyone does. And as a result, suddenly employment started to get generated. Like 15, 20,000 people, blind people got employment in that year itself.
Yeah.
Okay. One of my social things which I did. Okay.
Huh.
So that was the time when I was working in Homi Baba Center. This realization materialized that we have to do something which makes talking softwares cost effective for visually disabled students and people. So
Yeah.
that happened, and then again, that each has always been there to do always something to do for the digitally underserved community. Still, even today, there are so many people. We talk about digital India and IT giants and all. I'll tell you that me and my wife are staying in Goa for last 2 years for business expansion reasons and all. Here, people
Okay.
are not even using UPI. Now, Goa is not a village, mind you. There are masses who are not even using UPI. They still want to deal in cash. They are afraid of these
Okay.
things. They don't want to
Oh.
use Google Pay, UPI. No. So, which means there is a huge amount of digitally underserved community who is either afraid to use technology, who doesn't find the technology easy, who feels that they are excluded. Basically, they are not considered in this arena, right? So I again started a project to design a free accounting software for small businesses, small and micro businesses, very poor people, rural side traders who hardly have any business. Software कहाँ से खरीदेंगे? So I actually started. I gathered a team of interns from SNDT Women's University. I used to go there as a visiting faculty. Okay.
Okay.
So I assembled a team of like 4 5 very very talented young girls, extremely talented, and we started to work on this thing called GNU Khata, GNU Khata. Okay,
Okay.
GNU is a wild animal found in savannah, and you cannot domesticate that. It's free. So we
Okay.
wanted a symbol of free thing, so GNU Khata. Initially, I was doing as a hobby project. in my own spare time, because then I was working with Homi Baba Center and all this stuff was happening. Okay. But then at some point I said, okay, enough is enough. A lot of people told me that, they called me KK. My well-known name in the circle is KK. So they said,
Okay.
a lot of big people, KK, what you're doing is very serious. You please take it seriously. Don't do it the way you're doing it now. I said, serious यानी क्या करो और? No, you give full time to it. I said, full time I can give, but eventually one has to earn. How can you survive?
Yeah.
You can't just survive on social work, right? So there were quite a few people who came in. Sunil Abraham, who's now working with Facebook, and he has this Computer Society of India, this thing. Okay. So and then Dr. Jayjeet Bhattacharya, who is the ex-director of Sun Microsystems and Oracle. He's a good friend of mine. He stays in Delhi only. Then there is Valsa Williams, who was the Intel Asia chief, who very well know. You'll see her testimony on my LinkedIn profile also.
Okay.
All people, and then there is the National Internet Exchange of India, NIXI. So Dr. Govind from there, they saw to it that I got government funding to do this work, this free software work for accounting purpose. Imagine getting a good quality free software for accounting and billing for free. So many micro businesses, small grocery shops, small stationery shops, your roadside laundry wala, everyone, they will benefit so much, no, because they don't have to pay. Okay. So the government funding came. I started my own NGO called Digital Freedom Foundation and developed it. But that software also proved to be a research platform for me to see what exactly those kind of customers want. Because already I did something for the blind people who are digitally underserved, right?
Yeah.
My attitude has always been, and I always even tell my fellow blind friends that just because you have one disability doesn't mean that you only have to help the people of your own community. There are millions of others who are not maybe visually disabled or any ways disabled, but they still are disabled in some other way. They need help. And so the heart shouldn't be so narrow that you only help your kind of people. You should be helping everyone. So I thought these micro and small businesses, they need the help. So I did that. GNU Khata was happening very happily in Digital Freedom Foundation. In 2016, a very wonderful thing happened. So there is a college in Mumbai by the name of Don Bosco. So as I told you, I used to give a lot of workshops and seminars. So like in 2013-14, I went there to deliver a seminar. And okay, so that by that time I was giving a lot of seminars and all. So I got a friend request from one girl, Prajakta. And then we started to talk, because she was there during my seminar. By 2016, she actually joined my organization when I was doing this free software thing, the GNU Khata thing, with my own NGO. The more we work together and the more beyond work, the more we talk, we realize that we have everything in common, literally everything, including our childhood habits. And the more that happened, the more we felt comfortable. Apparently, our relation bloomed, and apparently, we tied the knot in 2020. So from 2016, the story I cannot tell alone. It's impossible for me to keep myself alone in my entire journey. Okay, because apparently it never, like I think it was like 26th December was her birthday on the day when we actually got engaged, and from that time onwards, in fact, sometime before that, it was never I or her. It was by that time it had already become we. So we were working together. She was handling the UI UX part very well. And what I did deliberately is in our management of the NGO and our fellow team, I deliberately kept our relation secret. By 2017 end, she was the lead project leader. Why I hide it? Because she got it by her own efforts. She was extremely hardworking. She is actually extremely hardworking, very talented, understanding concepts pretty fast. Okay, very good grasper. I never wanted someone to just let her go up on the ladder just because she is my fiance and would be wife. No, not that. Only after this entire thing happened and she was a leader and there was an award for her. That was the time, around that time, I started to declare our relation to people. So that it was not that she got it because of me. She got it on her own efforts and on her own time. So we went ahead, we started to do things together. And at some point we realized that doing this social level software is not going to be sustainable. It's not going to serve the bigger purpose.
Hmm.
One purpose we had solved, because our software is also taught in curriculum, commerce curriculum in Maharashtra for
Okay.
basic accounting. Yeah, and even in Kerala. Okay.
Hmm.
By the way, even Kerala government funded our initiative for a long time.
Hmm.
For 4 years, they funded us. Okay.
Okay.
So again, because of my own, communications and my own contacts, this was happening.
Hmm.
And then,
Hmm.
of course, Prajakta has always been, one with me. We are everything together.
Hmm.
So one day we were discussing about this, and suddenly it appeared to us that we should form a company and do this
Hmm.
commercially.
Hmm.
Leave this free software behind. Okay.
Hmm.
Of course, we took
Hmm.
a lot of inspiration from it. We understood a lot of customer psychology. We understood
Hmm.
exactly what small and micro businesses want. They want
Hmm.
automatic accounting. Their accounting
Hmm.
should be done automatically. Of course,
Hmm.
auditing cannot be done automatically. It's a manual
Hmm.
process, but the data
Hmm.
entry should be automated. So, thus,
Hmm.
in 2020, we formed our company together. Accounting is
Okay.
also called bookkeeping.
Okay.
Right? We say you are
Uh-huh.
maintaining books of accounts, right? Book.
Uh-huh.
And we are making it automatic, somatic. That is for
Uh-huh.
bookmatic.
Okay.
Okay. So
Uh-huh.
we launched our company. Now
Hmm.
the immediate question which everyone will get when I say this is where the money came from, because we are
Yeah.
this is a commercial thing.
Hmm.
Since 2015, because I was into open source a lot, and this new Khata and all had impressed a lot of people across India also. So in
Hmm.
one of the conferences, I met a gentleman by the name of Vikas Tara. He's from UK.
Hmm.
He's a third generation businessman. He's born and brought up in UK. He's a
Hmm.
Punjabi, but then he's from UK only.
Hmm.
And he was right from the day one. He was really mesmerized by our work, uh,
Okay.
like Nukhata and the Orca thing and all. He was pretty much. He was kind of like, he was all in awe of my work and everything. And we hit a
Okay.
good rapport because he
Hmm.
had very very similar visions, and he had very very noble visions for serving the digitally underserved, like the way I had. So in
Hmm.
fact, he created one of the free local operating systems called Hamara Linux. Okay.
Acha.
Hamara is our, right? So
Uh-huh.
entirely Indian fonts and everything by default. You don't have to install anything. So
Okay.
he actually is an entrepreneur and he is an investor. So they have
Hmm.
their own company called Tech Blue Services,
Hmm.
and he has his own company in UK called Tara and Co Accounting. Now here is the
Okay.
match. So I
Hmm.
was working with Tech Blue Services. I actually
Hmm.
joined them for some while as a
Okay.
open source operations head, and along with me,
Hmm.
of course, Prajakta also joined there. She was also
Okay.
senior, project.
Hmm.
So what happened is, I told him that look,
Hmm.
we have decided to launch a company and we want to do this. So he
Hmm.
asked, what is the purpose? I said, this is exactly what the purpose is, that small and micro businesses are feeling excluded
Hmm.
because the softwares are very costly, they are very complicated, and
Hmm.
they don't feel confident using it. So all these three
Hmm.
factors are there. I have solved it. I know I can make it very cost effective. I know I can make it very very simple, which nowadays a lot of people are already saying about us. Even our critics say one thing
Hmm.
about the software, कि हाँ आपका software बहुत easy है. It's very easy.
Hmm. Hmm.
So he immediately clicked.
Hmm.
So we did a page deck presentation to him one day, because
Hmm.
by that time we had a rapport for 5 years, no.
Hmm.
So I was a bit not nervous, but I was like, how do I put it in across to the entire
Hmm.
team, because there are three four
Hmm.
people listening to our this thing.
Yeah.
5 or 6 slides down the slides, he
Hmm.
interrupted me. He
Hmm.
said, "KK, I think I really
Hmm.
understand what you're saying. Let's not drag this. Tell me how much money you want."
Acha. That's great.
Yeah, you just tell me and tell me how are
Hmm.
you utilizing it, because obviously as an
Hmm.
investor you need to know what is the ROI. Just tell
Hmm.
me
Hmm.
that I know what you're doing. I know
Hmm.
what. So it was a clear hint that they have decided. Okay, clear
Hmm.
cut
Hmm.
सामने से आ गया कि भाई पैसा कितना चाहिए बताओ क्या करोगे.
Hmm.
So we
Hmm.
directly jumped to the 10th slide with all the ask and how much we'll give as a share. And within
Hmm.
5 days the entire thing was done. And then
Hmm.
he made a call to me specially to tell me that look, this
Hmm.
is not just an investment from our side, and this is not just a company you're running. This is a huge cause, and it's
Hmm.
not always that you have to be social and an NGO to do some good cause. You can, in
Hmm.
fact, there should be good businessmen doing good business and doing a social cause, because
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
making money, and
Exactly.
if you have a noble heart, in the noble hearted
Hmm.
people should have a license to earn a lot, because they do give back a
Hmm.
lot.
Hmm.
It's much better
Hmm.
that way. So you are
Hmm.
doing a big responsible thing, and we will always
Hmm.
be backing you. So
Hmm.
that time also then online khata came. So online khata
Hmm.
is our product. It's our flagship trademark product.
Hmm. Hmm.
And of course, the same year, COVID happened, apparently.
Hmm.
Lockdown started in March. And
Hmm.
thus, me and Prajakta couldn't meet. Just
Hmm.
being a few kilometers apart, we were still having a long distance relationship for
Hmm.
about 3 or 4 months.
Hmm.
And the same year, we tied the knot in,
Okay.
in September.
2020.
And then from there on, there was no looking back, because the company, we got
Hmm.
second round of investment despite the failures, because our investor was
Hmm.
with us. And every
Hmm.
startup has an initial failure. There is nothing wrong in
Hmm.
it. You
Hmm.
learn a lot of things, because see, we are
Hmm.
from technical background, me
Hmm.
and my wife both.
Hmm. Hmm.
I know a little bit of accounts by domain, by
Hmm.
default, because I was working
Hmm.
in it for so many years. She knows a bit of it. But
Hmm.
business administration, marketing, this is not our domain. And you
Yeah.
can't be a do-it-all person. You need people,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So that also again becomes how you choose the right people. So we
Hmm.
made some choices, we made some bad choices, and it
Hmm.
didn't sustain a lot.
Hmm.
Second round again, I was more afraid for the second round, because kind of I thought I have let my investor down. Nothing had
Hmm.
really worked. So we
Okay.
had a meeting again. Again,
Hmm.
I was a bit nervous. This time I was seriously nervous, and so was Prajakta
Hmm.
as well.
Acha.
Again, everything happened, and he said, "Okay,
Hmm.
so how much do you want me to invest?"
Hmm.
I was like, "Okay, cool, it's
Hmm.
good." So that
Hmm.
was the time when he told me, "Look, KK and Prajakta,
Hmm.
we knew
Hmm.
you will do these mistakes, and we
Hmm.
wanted you to do these mistakes, because that is how you're going to learn. Every time startup has a bad phase, don't worry, we are with you,
Hmm.
and we will be backing you. This time also we are backing you. The company value went up because we had done some business. Of course, we did not do
Hmm.
zero business, but we were
Hmm.
not in a profit or something, not even break even. But we
Hmm.
did some business, and that showed good sign. So
Hmm.
the mistakes were ironed out over the period of time, and this is the third
Hmm.
year we are running into now.
Hmm.
So
But I must say that you really got an angel in the name of the investor
you see
supporting.
my
Hmm.
LinkedIn trails, which I have
Hmm.
talked about a lot of. Talk about a
Hmm.
real angel investor. What is the definition of an angel investor?
Hmm. Hmm.
Angel investor will put not just money. Okay, this gentleman does not just invest money. He invested money,
Hmm.
right? That is the main thing. But
Hmm.
he's a big businessman. He really understands what business means.
Hmm.
What losses mean. Some losses are opportunities. I'll tell you what. I have learned one
Hmm.
thing from him. All
Hmm.
the losses are not not bad. The losses become
Hmm.
opportunities. And on the
Hmm.
contrary, some profits might also become a challenge.
Hmm.
Always हमेशा ये नहीं होता कि profit अच्छा है और loss बुरा है. It's not always like
Ah.
that. I learned it
Hmm.
only in the hard way, you know,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
this is the case. So he
Hmm.
he was the one I have, because he's my business mentor. I realized
Hmm.
it because of that. All
Hmm.
that is lost is not bad, right? You
Yeah.
do learn something. And
Hmm.
even now, when now we are in the acceleration round, we are going for Series A by mid this year. We are going to look
Okay.
for investors. It's
Hmm.
all because he backed us. Even
Hmm.
second time, we did not get a great success. We were a bit
Hmm.
better than the first time, but still we were far behind the target. Again, he said,
Hmm.
"Look, I know. Don't get nervous. I know what has
Hmm.
happened. It's okay.
Hmm.
But now this is something you have to really consider." And he was a bit, you can say, very specific about a few things. He said, "This is what you'll
Hmm.
have to improve. This is what you should
Ah.
be doing." Like, for example, we were outsourcing our marketing work. He said, "Nothing doing. You'll have to have a dedicated person in house. You cannot do this."
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm.
And then a
Hmm.
lot of other things and tips he gave us. We also
Hmm.
learned a few things. But Vic, we call him Vic. His name is Vikas.
Hmm. Hmm.
Vic has really been, as you rightly said, the real definition of, if you really want to know what an angel investor is,
Yeah.
because he has vision much beyond the investment.
Hmm.
He
He
has
kept his faith
much.
in you.
He kept his faith in me. He kept his faith in Prajakta, and he kept
Hmm.
a faith in the fact that these people are up to something, and they really want to do.
Hmm.
Even today, if you
Hmm.
ask him, he would say a lot of
Hmm.
things to you about
Yeah.
us, and we do
Okay.
share a good rapport, a good friendship
Hmm.
also, which
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
bloomed over the time. Even
Hmm.
his representative director, who's on our board, Mr. Deepak Chandra Babu,
Hmm.
he works with him. So
Hmm.
he's also been a good business mentor. Again, I said we are experts in a certain domain. We cannot be experts in
Yeah.
everything.
True.
But he has been backing us very, very well, very
Hmm.
strong. So I will say that to all young budding startups,
Hmm.
when you choose your investor, money to
Hmm.
dekhna hi hai. Of course, you need money. Without that, you're not going to get an investor. See
Hmm.
an investor who who understands your vision and who shares your vision beyond just the money.
Mm.
It's not about, when you go to the
Mm.
VC round, you have to talk about exit strategies and when they want to exit. But angel
Mhm.
investors, I'll tell you what, Vic has no intention to exit right now. And that is the
Mm.
best part for us because
Mm.
he's there. Sometimes
Mm.
we tell people we consider him a part of our founding team only. He's
Mhm.
no less than a founder for us, and is
Yeah.
no less than an angel for us because
Yeah.
eventually, no matter how big you are, my recognition, my
Mm.
reputation is there.
Mm.
That is one of
Mm.
the biggest reasons why he came and invested in the company.
Mm.
But you
Mhm.
need not just the money, you need
Mm.
some guidance about business administration. You need some guidance about, sometimes we are apprehensive about some quick decisions we have to make, ad hoc
Mm.
decisions about
Mm.
marketing strategy
Mm.
or about
Mm.
some campaigns. He will
Mm.
spend his time and come and discuss with us.
Mm.
Being an investor, I mean, he could have easily said, "We have given you the money, now it's up to you, guys. I mean, you either
Yeah.
make profit or we go." He never does that.
Yeah. Mm.
That is the kind of visionary entrepreneur we are, and
Mm.
that is the kind of visionary investor he is.
Mm. Mm.
It's like that.
So this online khata, how many users are there of it?
Well, now there are more than 3,000 active users.
Hmm. And just tell a little more about it.
Okay, so
It,
I'll tell you, the biggest problem we saw was
mm.
there are a lot of softwares. I'm not taking names because
Mhm.
a lot of softwares are there. I mean, if
Mhm.
I have to take names, I have to take everyone. So yeah, there is
Mhm.
Vyapar, MyBill, Books, Tally, QuickBooks, and you name it.
Mhm.
Khata
Mhm.
Books, so
Mhm.
on and so forth, and the list might go on.
Mhm.
The problem is that you
Mhm.
need two things. One thing, you
Mhm.
need a software which is very simple and any damn person can operate it. Even your laundry wala should be able to use it.
Yeah.
That's one problem. The
Mhm.
other problem is that even after they use any of the softwares, they will have to go
Mhm.
to their account and get the data entry done. There is this
Mhm.
data entry in form of debits and credits you have to do.
Mhm.
So what
Mhm.
they used to do, they will take all their bills and invoices to an accountant. He will
Mhm.
put his person to do the data entry in Tally or whatever it is,
Mhm.
okay, or QuickBooks or whatever it could be. And after that, they generate the reports like profit and loss, balance sheet,
Mhm. Mhm.
ledgers, trial balances, GSTR1, sales purchase register, so on and so forth. For all
Mhm.
this, you have to do data entry, a lot of data entry.
Yeah.
So after that, the reports come, and then the reports are taken by the auditor and who will file the returns.
Mhm.
I thought,
Mhm.
why not do this? That, of course, filing the returns and viewing the reports and auditing is manual process, and it is to be done by due diligence, like just like a
Yeah.
judge in the court, no? Okay, and then
Mhm.
you have to file. That we cannot do anything. But this data
Mhm.
entry part, which the accountant anyways is not his duty to do it, right? His
Mhm.
duty is to
Mhm.
file the returns.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be automated. And by the way, QuickBooks almost was doing what we were doing, but QuickBooks closed their business in India. Why? Because
Mhm.
our Indian accounting community is
Mhm.
attuned to look at the reports in a certain way. They like a certain
Mhm.
format, they like a certain style. If you don't do
Okay.
it, they will refuse your software right out.
Okay.
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 We thought, okay, they are used
Mhm.
to using Tally or whatever.
Mhm.
Let's completely automate the accounting in such a way that the reports come out in the way the accountants like, without
Okay.
involving the accountant.
Okay.
Rather, saying without
Mhm.
involving data entry. So our
Mhm.
software happens like this. So let's say
Mhm.
you are a small stationery shop, you make your bills
Mhm.
regularly.
Mhm. Mhm.
There is a virtual accountant on the server who's doing those debits and credits wala entries, which apparently someone would do in Tally or something. And
Mhm.
instead of going to the accountant with all the bills and all, you
Mhm.
directly take out those reports, balance sheets and all, directly go to the
Okay.
accountant and say file my returns.
Okay.
So the middle part of getting the data entry done is completely eliminated. That is happening
Okay.
completely automatically. The same thing
Okay.
what QuickBooks used to do, but
Mhm.
in the way which Indian accountants like, in the way which Indian
Mhm.
auditors would prefer. That same
Okay.
presentation style which they want, right?
Okay.
Plus, our
Okay.
software has another big advantage is that for service providers, we
Mhm.
actually give them an inventory less package. So they don't need to buy the entire package with all the features, whether they need it or not. If you're a
Okay.
service provider, we give you only service
Mhm.
provider specific things, no
Okay.
inventory.
Okay.
And the cost comes
Okay.
down. So we are actually most cost effective in the market. And the
Mhm.
features are very, very specific. We cater to that crowd which doesn't require HR, payroll, production planning. We don't
Okay.
cater to the medium and large businesses.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
deliberately are serving the micro and small businesses.
Small. Okay. Okay. So it also says that it is uplifting rural businesses. So in the same
Indeed,
manner,
because
because you are
again,
helping.
yes,
Huh.
because
Yes,
you're
again,
helping them do the accounting part of their businesses. That's how.
absolutely, because again with them the same problem is there. वो लोग पहले accountant ढूंढेंगे कहाँ से? Lot of
Hmm.
them don't do it. And
Hmm.
the other day we were discussing with a few semi-rural entities.
Hmm.
Prajakta, my wife, she is also the co-founder of our company. I forgot to tell you
Hmm.
that she is the CEO of
Hmm.
the company. She
Okay.
made a very valid point. In the first
Hmm.
place, why do you make bills? Why should you make
Hmm.
bills? Because a lot of them
Hmm.
don't make bills. ना बिल ही नहीं बनाएंगे जाने दो. Okay.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
reason you should be making bills is because only if you make bills, customers are
Hmm.
going to come to your shop. Because if you're not giving them bills, there is no guarantee
हाँ
that you recognize them.
हाँ
There is no
yeah
credibility of yours in the market.
हाँ
There is
जी
no authenticity of what you are giving. So even your
हम्म
this Jago Grahak Jago, this consumer forum is not of nowadays selling ki bill ke bina kuch mat lena. Right?
हम्म
There was this
हम्म
slogan, bill ke bina kuch mat lena. It was
हम्म
going on very virally in between, which
हम्म
means making bills is now mandatory. Of course, आपको business
हम्म
बढ़ाना है तो करना ही पड़ेगा. So
yeah
now you are doing the billing anyhow. When you are
हम्म
doing the billing, accounting has to be done
हम्म
in the background. Now instead
हम्म
of going to an accountant to do the data entry, save his
हम्म
time, save your time,
हम्म
and get the accounting done automatically through our software. Take out the
हम्म
reports and go to
हम्म
the accountant and file your returns. Now you don't even have
हम्म
to take out the reports. Our software has a
हम्म
facility called internal auditor, so you can invite your accountant on the cloud
अच्छा
and they get into your system because it's a
okay
cloud-based service, right? They
हम्म
directly see the reports. If they
हम्म
want to download, they will download or whatever the case
हम्म
might be, and they will file the
okay
returns. We have such a system.
okay
So even
okay
for the rural businesses, it becomes so efficient. And even
हम्म
if it is only going to cost you 2,000 rupees per year, so it's becoming
हम्म
very good for
yeah it's cheap and best
you. And last thing, as
हम्म
a rule, our softwares
हम्म
are made accessible. So tomorrow, if a blind person wants to be a businessman or he wants to do accounting, wants to get
हम्म
into the commerce career,
हम्म
before it was not possible. Today it is possible because
okay
our software is very very compatible with talking programs.
okay okay
So today you
okay
can use our a blind person can actually use our software and even do commerce education, because we
okay
have the accountants mode also. You can switch our software into manual mode and do the debit
Mhm.
and credit manually. That mode is also there. So if someone,
Okay.
even if a totally blind person wants to take up commerce, he or she can.
Hmm.
That is also one side
Okay.
effect of our.
Okay. So now, what do we expect from you after this online khata is successful and all? Are you working on any other project?
Yes, so we are going to actually incorporate some business specific billing and invoicing with accounting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many lines. Now
Mm-hmm.
we are doing something very generic. Now we are
Mm-hmm.
going to begin with specific. Again, the target is small and micro businesses only, but very very
Okay.
specific business lines, wherein
Mm-hmm.
we will make
Like.
some precise modifications for them. For example, like there are stationery. I told you that there are stationery shops, and they
Mm-hmm.
have a very peculiar kind of a requirement nowadays, because they are also integrating UPI and stuff. How
Mm-hmm.
about how about they actually nowadays this Paytm machine is there. You hear that
Mm-hmm.
Paytm per 100 रुपए प्राप्त हुए. How
Mm-hmm.
about turning it the other way around and saying, I
Mm-hmm.
say, uh, 4 पेन का 50 रुपए का बिल बनाना, and then the
अच्छा.
entire thing will do it, and the UPI thing comes up, the customer pays through UPI, and again the
Okay.
regular thing happens. Here's the thing. Okay, so
Okay.
voice driven
Okay.
interfaces is something which we are going to incorporate. And
Okay.
we are actually going to technically we are going to see a lot of changes in this, because blockchain will come in, and the
Mm-hmm.
securities and stuff will transactional security will be blockchainized. And
Mm-hmm.
so so stationary, I give you one example. Then there are micro traders who need
Mm-hmm.
to actually have a dashboard full of information of where things are available, what is so cheap, all the data
Mm-hmm.
science, because our entire system itself is based on data science right now. So we were
Okay.
actually writing the automation, accounting automation based on data science long before this data science became a buzzword.
अच्छा.
We have been doing it for a long time. And
Okay.
if you ask me personally,
Mm-hmm.
my specialty is technical operations and implementation. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say if any, I do a lot of consultancy for other companies apart from my own company. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
they want to implement a new product, or they have an existing product and they want to like change it or revamp it. I am the
Mm-hmm.
person who can tell them which technology to use and why,
Okay.
make it
Okay.
future proof, and also see
Okay.
that the entire deployment and implementation of the entire system happens in a smooth way. I can handle the
Hmm.
entire program team, I can
Hmm.
handle the
Hmm.
database guys, and I can handle
Hmm.
the business
Hmm.
analyst as well. So
Hmm.
entire implementation of the product from the technical point of view is my specialty. So
Hmm.
I do
Okay.
technical implementation consultancy for a lot of companies.
Mhm. So, Krishnakant, while you gave many messages for the youngsters out there in between the interview, but I want to ask you, what is that one final thing you would want to say to any, let's say, a youngster who wants to, uh, who has completed his or her education and wants to start an entrepreneurship journey? So,
Okay.
what is the most potent piece of advice that you would give him
My
or her?
advice will be that, potent is the right word. Right now, the atmosphere for startups is most potent. And now, this is very important. Mind you,
Mm,
this is a double edged sword. The reason being, you would
mm,
easily get carried away with an idea which you find is really interesting.
mhm,
Okay. Chances are you will not get any investment itself.
mm,
You might get investment, chances are it will not sustain. So before you go ahead, no matter
mm,
how you like the idea, first be your own devil's advocate or discuss with your girlfriend or your mentor or whoever it could be, and tell
mm,
them to be a devil's advocate. They might
mm,
even say, yeah, badhiya idea. Say no, just criticize
mm,
the idea, tell me the looks. Because a lot
mm,
of time we think our baby is the best, right?
mhm,
Always
mm,
remember, when you have a startup idea, even before thinking or considering seed investment or anything,
mhm,
be a devil's advocate. And I'll give you one mantra.
mhm.
uh, Discuss it in such a way कि idea मेरी
Mm.
fail ही होने वाली, you know.
Okay.
Criticize it in every way possible, even
Mhm,
after all that, trying your level best to certify the idea as a failure. Even after that, if there is a voice screaming inside you, नहीं ये सही है, okay,
mm,
and you have
mm,
justified facts to say that ये सही है, if
mhm.
something says in you that no, this is right, this is really going to work, even after
Yeah.
all your self criticism, your peer
Mm,
criticism, okay,
mm,
try, as if, okay, think like this, that you want to tell someone that whatever you're saying is bakwas. Okay, think like
okay.
that. Even after
Mhm.
that, if you see that the idea is still working, yes, then it's the right idea. Okay. A
Okay.
lot of people
Okay.
don't do this because now they know. I'll tell
Mm,
you why I said double-edged sword. They know it's
mm.
very easy to get investment nowadays, and frankly, yes,
Ah,
it is very easy to get investment. They
okay.
know it is
Mm,
very too easy to get interns and such resources. Yes, it is very
mm,
easy. This is where a lot of young startups, owners and founders get carried away. They say idea
mm,
is there, resources are
mm,
there, let's go for it, and then they
mm,
repent.
mm,
Don't do it. The
mm.
entire thali is in front of you. Don't touch it before you really criticize yourself and get criticized by others. And even
Okay.
after that, even after all that flaming and firing, if your idea still turns up and
Mm,
instinctively makes you feel with all the facts that it is correct, then by all means
mm,
go for it. And by the way, there is no two thoughts about hard work. You will have to work hard.
mm,
You'll at times you'll have to be right from a chaprasi till the director. The fact
mm,
is the financial resources are very limited. A lot of people nowadays on YouTube are saying don't do all the work yourself, boss. Initially you
mm.
have to do everything yourself. There is no other way
Okay.
about it. If you don't have
Okay.
billions of dollars,
Mm,
you are not a born unicorn. Okay, so you
mm,
have to
mm.
do it. And the last thing, work hard and party harder, because
Okay.
if you only work hard and then don't enjoy that, then there is no point. You must party
Yeah.
harder.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Krishnakant, for talking to us. It was lovely talking to you and getting all that knowledge and learning. Thank you so much, and all the best for your future.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.